What up, reader fam? How's it going? Today I am bringing you a recommendations video, and today I'm going to be recommending you some captivating reads. Are you in the mood for a book to sweep you off your feet? A book that will make you forget about the world around ya? A book that will pull you out of a reading slump? You've come to the right place. Today Jesse will share a list of books with you that will capital C-A-P-T-I-V-A-T-E. That's how you spell captivate, right? Yep. Captivate you! Back to Jesse! Before I get into the recommendations though, today's video has a sponsor. Today's video contains paid promotion with Harper for the book Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. This is supposed to be a haunting and captivating read, which is why today I am rounding up some of my favorite captivating reads. And I'm personally captivated by the description alone. Like, I am really excited to read this book after having heard the description. So let me tell you what this book is all about. In this book, we follow these girls who become obsessed with this book. And due to the fact that the first book never got a sequel, the girls decide that they are going to write their own sequel. They're going to write a fan fiction. But as they began to write it, the more they felt swept away by it. In fact, the story began to feel less like fiction and more real. Soon enough, they felt the darkness of the story looming over them. Their best friend Summer is murdered and everyone around them thinks that they're the ones that did it. The thing is, they did not do it. But now they're having to deal with this blurred memory of what actually happened. The past, present, and fiction all kind of morphed together, and so they must figure out the truth of what really happened to Summer. This book sounds dark. Hello darkness, my old friend. This definitely sounds like one of those hypnotizing reads, like one of those books that you pick up and you're unable to put down the second you start it. I'll be reading this book soon and sharing my thoughts in an upcoming recent reads video, and if this book sounds interesting to you, it comes out on October 2nd. So like I said, inspired by this book, I have decided to put together some captivating reads to share with you guys today. This is a list of books that had me mesmerized from start to finish, so without further ado, let's get started. I can't wait to see how many times I say the word captivating throughout this video. I'm pretty sure I've already said it way too many times. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for the amount of times I'm about to say captivating. I just can't help the fact that I'm making such a captivating video. First up here I have The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, and this book takes place in 1939 Nazi Germany. And it's told from the perspective of death. Through the eyes of death, we follow the story of Liesel, who has become a bit of a book thief after finding a book tucked away in the snow one day. She grows a fascination with words, and her foster father ends up helping her learn how to read. She now steals books every chance she gets. The world is shifting around her, and it completely shifts the day that her family opens up their door to hide a Jewish man in their basement. I love this book so much to the point that I have 3 copies of it now. Because when you love a book so much, sometimes one copy of it just isn't enough. Also, I just have a problem, okay? One of the main things that I feel like this book did that really held my attention was just the perspective of death. This was the first book that I ever read that was narrated by death. I've since read quite a few, but this one by far had me the most charmed. It's so incredibly eerie, but in a way that keeps you completely gripped to the story. I feel like it offered just such a unique perspective to this time period, which is another reason why I really love this book. I love reading about this time in history, which I know reading about Nazi Germany can be really sad, but I also just find this part of history to be incredibly fascinating. It's one of those things in history that happened where you just go, how could humans treat other humans this way? And it wasn't even that long ago, which is so sad to think about. This is also one of those books where there's just a need to know what's next, which is what makes it such an engaging read. You'd rather flip the page than put the book down. Next up here I have a manga, and that is Death Note. Another book about death. I swear I don't only read morbid books. This story follows Light Yagami, who one day is out walking and he comes across a notebook. It's not just any notebook though, it's actually linked to a death god. And now every name that Light writes down in this notebook, that person will be found dead. With this newfound power, Light sets out to make the world a better place. But the power ends up getting to his head a little bit. While his identity remains a mystery, the police force have put on an investigation to find him and take him out. But he's not willing to go out without a fight. The thing that makes this series so gripping to me is just the character motives. The characters are given this power to kill people without getting their hands dirty, and that's a big power to take on. They can kill anyone whenever they want. And while Light has this intention of making the world a better place, he's also letting that power get to him a little bit. I feel like this could be considered an anti-hero story because the main character does desperately want to make the world a better place, but his way of going about it is just in the wrong. This series also contains so many intense and heart-wrenching scenes in it. They'll have your palms sweaty. Those scenes are also just a lot of fun to unpack because of how calculated they are. Like, you read them first and let those scenes kind of sink in. Then you go back and reread those scenes and kind of see how they initiated it and made it happen. Mind-blowing, my friends. Next up, I have here The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This story follows Lee, whose mother died by suicide, and Lee has convinced herself that through the process of death, her mother transformed into a bird. And she's willing to do everything she can to track down that bird and be reunited with her mother, even if she is in the form of a bird. Lee takes a trip to Taiwan where she believes that her mother now resides. Here she goes on a journey bigger than she ever expected to. She meets her grandparents for the first time and creates a connection with them while also facing her grief head on. I just realized that this is another book that technically deals with death. My bad, I promise this video is not a book recommendations about death. I love reading books that tackle grief, which I know sounds really weird, like yay death and its aftermath. That's definitely not what I mean, but I just think it's a topic that can be explored through many different angles, and I'm always on the lookout for ones that explore grief in a really unique way. And that's what this book does. It takes the concept of grief and really explores it in a way that I haven't seen be done before. And I think what this book does that really makes it stand out to me is just the way that it's written. It really makes you understand the pain of what our main character is facing. And on the other hand, there is this magical element that inserts itself into the story, and you just can't help but be swept away by it. It's a rather large book, but it's one of those books that when you finish it, you'll be like, what? It's over already? Because that's how captivating it is. It's got that pull that will have you to the finish line before you even realize it. Next up here, I have The Storied Life of A.J. Fikri by Gabrielle Zevin. A book that's not about death, but it does have a bit of a death element, so did I just round up a bunch of books about death? I didn't mean to do this. While all these books have death in them, they also have a captivating element, I promise. Honestly, how did this happen? The Storied Life of A.J. Fikri follows a bookstore owner, and he has just hit a rough patch in life. His wife has passed away, book sales are at an all-time low, and his rare collection of Poe poems have been stolen. One day he receives a gift that at first looks like a curse, but the more time he spends with it, the more he realizes it's bringing joy to his life. In some ways, it brought with it a new chapter in life, and that's something that he desperately needed. This is one of those books that's really simple, but has a really captivating element to it. I was constantly surprised by the direction of the plot. While it is a rather simple story, it also weaves in together all these different storylines, adding in some nice tension and conflict. It was fascinating watching a life that's kind of going down this unfortunate path to being turned around to going on an uplifting path. Also, I can't deny the fact that I found this book captivating because of the fact that we follow a bookstore owner, and a lot of our story takes place in a bookstore. I mean, he lives on the floor above the bookstore. Talk about goals! And the last book that I'm going to be recommending today is Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds, which is in fact a book that does talk about death. I apologize, I did not mean for this to happen, guys. This story follows our main character Will, who is seeking revenge on the boy who killed his older brother. With a gun tucked in his pants, he steps onto an elevator and begins to make his way to the level that this boy lives on. Along the way to this floor though, the elevator begins to stop on many levels, and on each stop a new person walks in that Will knows in some way. The thing is, the people who are getting on the elevator are people who have passed away. They each give Will something to think about on his way to revenge. This is one of those books where I almost feel like you just have to read it for yourself to understand why it's so captivating. I don't want to give too much away, but it's one of those books that's just really haunting, and not in a way that's like, oh, this is so scary kind of way. More in a, if this happened to me, I would be left shooketh. I was personally really taken aback by the writing style. Jason Reynolds continues to show up and deliver these incredibly well-written stories, which is why I've got a lot of respect for him. And this became one of my favorites by him simply because of the writing style. It's written in verse, so that kind of also makes it a really quick read, but it's just an overall very thought out and well put together story. And there are so many incredible messages that are tucked away in this book that will reveal themselves the more that you read on. So those are 5 captivating reads that I recommend checking out. If you're in the mood for a book that will just sweep you off your feet, which I feel like I'm always in the mood for that, then definitely check out some of these books. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. Do you think they're captivating or do you not? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Or if you just want to let me know down below in the comments a book that you feel is super captivating, let me know what book that is down below in the comments. Again, I wanted to thank Harper for sponsoring this video. If Broken Things sounds interesting to you, it will be available available on October 2nd, so definitely check it out. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe, or go and click the little bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, chew. Now that is a look. Oh. This mustache is so itchy. Why is it so itchy? Is it supposed to be this way?